Hey, my cat just showed up and started meowing at me. Madeline, you'll have to wait a moment. Everybody in the house is asleep right now, so I'm just um, coming on live to record um, the amazing insights and revelations that are coming down the pike. When I say coming down the pike, it's like my higher self is doing this massive delivery of putting puzzle pieces together. Those of you that know me know that I've been doing a lot of puzzles lately. And one of the biggest puzzles of my entire life is starting to come together and make sense. And I'm learning all about something called the Kati channel. My friend Lisa Risingberry, who's an amazing teacher and Tibetan Buddhist, and actually I've done some great sessions with her, and I plan on doing several more. I watched her video, and she talked about this thing called this Kati channel. And apparently, this Kati channel is meant to be vertical. When this Kati channel is vertical, it has the the pituitary, the pineal, and the hypothalamus make this triangle. And this is the resurrection of consciousness, not in duality. So consciousness liberated from duality. And Lisa talks about the two sides of the brain fighting in this dualistic paradigm. And that's when this Kati channel is horizontal. It lays horizontal. Now, as this Kati channel moves toward vertical, we have enlightened consciousness in total unification, and we experience reality from the heart, no longer from the dualistic mind. And so this is putting together so many pieces, guys, because I have dreamt, every dream I've had probably 7 major dreams explaining ascension, explaining resurrection, explaining liberation from duality, and every one of them is making sense now. And I have to say the energies of the solstice have brought this divine rehabilitator, which can finally begin to bring the Kati channel towards vertical in a very intentional way, increasing this verticality of the Kati channel, which is connected to reclaiming the synergistic communion of the multidimensional divine human. I'm going to say that again. This is the restoration of the synergistic communion of the original divine human. And in my dream, this is shown to me as this, it's actually shown to me as the male sexual organ being completely limp. That's the passive, that's the horizontal Kati channel. But as this rehabilitator, so you might say this divine consciousness through the solstice came to the earth, okay, and now is able to repair this channel, is able to begin increasing the synergy within all the multidimensional bodies at once, which is building the house of God. Piece by piece, the house of God, of the divine human, is being resurrected. Now, this can only happen piecemeal, right? Because this would totally overwhelm the nervous system, the immune system. It would be totally overwhelmed if this thing were to go to vertical. I mean, you'd die. I don't think you could do it all at once. It has to be this incremental let's call it a verticalization. Verticalization, that's not a word. This incremental rising, okay, this incremental resurrection of spirit laying passive under the grip of matter. Now, I've dreamt of this golden star. It's actually it's a Carl's Jr. happy star in my dream. And this thing is being smashed by this policeman who has a spatula, and he's smashing the star. And Mother Star comes from the other dimension. Now, this dream was 1985. Okay, Mother Star wasn't even close to this dimension in 1985. But with this solstice, Mother Star has access to that star that's trapped under the spatula. And little by little, Mother Star, which Lisa calls the mana aura. Mana aura is the one gold essence, and it's connected to the cosmic ether. This is the return of the Divine Mother for her children trapped in duality. And this came in with the solstice. So now we have the chance to actually liberate the multidimensional soul trapped under this bondage of duality. What this exactly means, I'm not sure, but it has to do with the mental body of all the artificial intelligence and all the mind control being wiped out, and the heart returning, and the divine human mind returning as a servant to the heart. The heart is not a servant to the mind. The spirit is not smashed under matter, but the spirit is rising with matter in a resurrected synergy of ecstatic communion. Right? We're starting out in an isolated, almost funeral hall, but we're going to get deeper and deeper synergy. What does this mean? I guess the organs, the glands are going to be coming online in a synergistic way that they have never been online as this before. Well, or not since, the royal houses of Lyra before the fall. So we're returning to our multidimensional state that we had before the fall. Okay? And I actually believe that not only are we returning to our divine state, but we're actually becoming something new that we have never been before. And I don't quite understand this, but I am seeing this, guys. I'm seeing that as we lift this veil from within this density of separation consciousness, we're actually birthing an entirely new playing field. We're unlocking a key on the earth which ripples out to every planet, then out to the Milky Way itself, and then out to Andromeda, and the whole universal time matrix is being upgraded by what we are doing as humanity, resurrecting ourselves out of the darkness on earth. So this is huge. There's something unlocking here that is initiating a snowball effect of cosmic and universal birth. Like a brand new playing field is rolling out over all creation, and the genesis point of that rollout is the earth. We unlock it here, and it ripples throughout the entire cosmos. Earth is very important somehow. I'm really seeing that Earth is an unlock point for the inception of the revelation of a deeper communion between spirit and matter that has ever occurred in any timeline anywhere. This is the first time we have this kind of communion. So nobody knows exactly what it's going to be like. Nobody really knows. We know it's all about the ecstatic bliss of all the parts of the separate self coming into an optimal dance of celebration. So if we can, what does that mean for the human body, right? That means that every cell, every organ, every gland is experiencing this sort of festival of ecstatic making love to itself. I mean, I can't quite grok. Like, what is that going to feel like? You know, we know about Kundalini awakening, right? That creates this massive bliss. And when unity consciousness comes, like, up past the throat, really past the solar plexus, it starts to obliterate the separate mind. And the oneness just permeates everything. So perhaps this is kind of what we're going to experience. But we're going to still be in these separate human bodies to celebrate, excuse me, to celebrate with each other what it feels like to awaken as a star again, as a living light code within this beautiful vessel of matter, so that our human bodies become this vessel from which we can have this tantric dance of love, first within the self. It has to happen first within the self. And perhaps this is the most important message of this whole download. If we seek this communion outside of ourselves before we have it within ourselves, we will be manic, we will be addicted, and we will be distorted. And it will never fulfill us. But if we answer this call for communion within the self, my cat is starting to rebel. Get off the table, you little stinker. If we answer this call for communion within ourselves, that is what changes the entire fabric of creation. That is when the Kati channel starts to go vertical. That is when the entire brain of duality is re-encrypted by the unity heart, and we become a living sun, ignited by its own synergy. So we are literally birthing ourselves as stars again. And when you feel that call, hi sweetheart, do you want to be on our Facebook Live? Come here, you little nanny new. When we answer the call for communion by going within, the broken heart ceases, the loneliness ceases. Finally, we're drinking from the place, we're attempting to drink from the place that actually has the water. Our lips are poised on the place that has the fountain, right? Like, I've been super just like, I want to dance with people. I want to sing with people. I want to come together. And of course, Corona has isolated us a lot. We've had to go deeper, deeper, deeper into what is essential. And this whole coronavirus has been assisting with this liberation from duality, which is why we can receive now these codes of solstice. We are poised to receive these codes. Well, to say that, we are poised to receive the gift of these codes because of the coronavirus. It's incredible. I mean, it's all perfect. Here we are, right when the rehabilitator is returning, and we are ready for the rehabilitation. I mean, there's a lot of people in humanity that still need to be ripped out of duality, but the frontliners are ready. I mean, we're laying under the golden manna of heaven saying, bring it on, baby. Resurrect this code. You know, the loneliness, the lostness, the feeling of disconnect, the feeling of the void that happens for a galactic human who is incarnated onto a planet where the spirit has to lay passive underneath the tyranny of mental body. That is torture for a galactic human. And so the torture is ending. We are returning and restoring the synergy of the rising out of passivity into the vertical channel of the ascended synergistic festival of interactive bliss that is our destiny. And I've been so lonely for so many years and so lost and so disconnected because, like, I've been holding space for this freaking total passivity of the channel. And we took a measurement on December 6th to see how bad it was. You know, from the galactic level, we took a measurement on that first full moon or new moon, December 6th, I think it was, or December 5th, anyway, but the night of December 6th is when the measurement was taken. And we took this measurement, and it showed that the child, the dismembered child in the underworld, was still totally disconnected from Divine Mother. Right? And I went through massive panic that night as the child without the mother. I went to a friend's house to sleep over, and I went through this just huge measurement was taken. Oh yeah, we have no connection between Divine Mother and inner child. There's no connection. We have total panic attack, abortion of all unity consciousness right now. So they took a measurement on December 6th. And at the eclipse on December 14th, the galactics took another measurement. And on December 14th, all of the, how can we say this? All of the energy of the light was attempting to resurrect itself on December 14th in that eclipse, and it totally failed. There was massive passivity and lockdown from the forces that want to keep light in lockdown. Totally had victory that night. That measurement was taken on December 14th, and it was like, oh, yeah, spirit is still in total bondage. But on the solstice, holy cow, on the solstice, this energy of liberation came and united that child with the mother and began this reclamation of the child in the underworld, the human child. It's like humanity is walking in the underworld while the Divine Mother is trying so hard to get to them, to assist them in resurrecting. And at the solstice, that energy of the Divine Mother started reaching all the way down to humanity, to the core of the forgotten child. And, you know, I've lived in panic attacks and agoraphobia for 37 years, and it never gets better. It gets better, but I just live with it. I've never managed to master the chronic anxiety. You know, I have my moments when, you know, everything, I'm at home and I'm safe and, you know, and everything's right. But going out into the world is still very challenging, even going for a walk away from my home, because the mother has not been here for that forgotten piece of the depth of that first chakra humanity. And now she is. The mother is here. This rehabilitation can truly begin. The end of this incredible loneliness. The end of this incredible disconnect. And so yeah, this is what I'm sharing. And it was kind of a long video. Yeah, 18 minutes and 32 seconds here. But I hope this video can serve to bring hope to those who have felt maybe even more lost since the solstice. The solstice actually threw us into a deeper void momentarily, because once we feel the fullness of this passivity and this disconnect, we feel a greater void. But the thing is, the rehabilitation is at hand. We now have, the doctor is in the house with the patient. It's the most hopeful time. And Jason talks about this yesterday as the first day of this new year. And the theme of this new year is self-redemption. And self-redemption is bringing the divine self back online. Bringing the synergy of our true communion with Source back online, moment by moment. piece by piece. We are in the time of the rehabilitation. And I dreamt this in 1985, and I've been running around since 1985 saying, where's the rehabilitation? I saw it in my dream in 1985, and it's here now. Help me do this math. Is that 15 years later? 85. I'm half asleep. Is that 30? That's 25 years. It took a quarter of a century between my dream and the physicalization of this thing. Anyway, much love. We are becoming a planet of light. The earth is rising out of her passivity. Her spirit is rising as her poles move more towards vertical. Our spirit is rising. It may seem still really dark, especially with the Congress refusing to give any funding to the states, but we're going to see this whole world going through a massive death and rebirth into life-giving rehabilitation so that we see a thriving humanity and a thriving natural world. Because as within, so without. And these resurrection codes have come. So now it's just a matter of drinking of them and letting them resurrect us. And that's what we're doing. It's happening. The solstice brought the divine director of the rehabilitation. And so now we just need to meditate, follow the code, go inside, keep calling in source. Stay simple. Try not to be efforting with the mind. Just stay simple with the heart. This is how we implement these codes, is by dwelling in the heart. All the instruction sets are coming for the heart. The mind doesn't know what to do with them. It is the heart. If you have to take some CBD, THC whacks me out. I can't handle but a drop of that stuff. But CBD can really calm the mental body, and I'm finding that is a good thing right now. Okay, I think I'm going to say goodbye. Much love to everyone. If you have questions about what I've talked about in this live, just DM me and we'll have a Zoom call. It's pretty amazing, and I hope it brings you the incredible hope, the incredible knowing that this long night is ending. We now have the rehabilitation. The doctor, the nurse is in the house, and the human patient will be rehabilitated back to its ultimate superconductive bliss. All right, ciao for now, and love you, human family. What an amazing, epic journey. What a time of revelation, pulling back the veil of night to reveal who we truly are as children of light. And so it is. Bye for now.